Joe, Oregon versus Illinois, ranked matchup in the Big Ten. How do you see this one going down?
Plain and simple, Oregon wins this game. It's at home. They have a big advantage of Illinois having to travel to play there. They're pretty high right now. Not a lot of people were talking about this because of all the craziness that happened. That perfect letdown opportunity against Purdue, and they came out swinging.
Purdue's a really bad football team.
I know that they are. I understand that they are, but we have seen plenty of teams like Notre Dame, for example. We've seen plenty of teams have massive letdowns after big wins. I think it's commendable for the way that Oregon played. But more
and they had to travel across the country. And we've seen teams that travel across the country that have been really suspect.
Most importantly, why I feel really good about Oregon in this matchup, and they shouldn't have anything to worry about. I really like this Illinois team. I think that their defense is great. Gabe Jacas has been really dominant on their defensive line. But right now, Illinois' O-line has been having a rough go. They have been giving up a ton of sacks. They've given up 20 up until this point this year. Mm-hmm. And that front seven for Oregon is cooking. Derek Harmon, Jordan Birch, Mateo Uiagalelei are all producing at a ridiculous clip in sacks, tackles for loss. And when you flip on the film, they're driving guys off the ball every single play. That to me is enough. That's all I got to pinpoint, man. If your defensive line's that much better than an opposing team's offensive line, you're going to win time of possession. You're going to get off the field quicker. You're going to run the ball really hard with Jordan James, who's got 700 yards on the ground this year and averaging 5.9 yards per carry. There's no reason to doubt Oregon. Illinois is a fun story, but they're just not on that same level.
This one has blowout alert to me for one reason. Illinois is 113th in the country in third down defense. So one of the worst defenses on third downs in the country. They have gotten out-coached, out-schemed, out-physicaled, and out-dueled at every area. Joe, there is one thing, though, that I need to mention. I am interested to see this secondary for Illinois go up against this Oregon wide receiver room. I think that they're going to have success. However, Illinois has not had a bad secondary this year, man. They've kind of been clampy, and they've given up some third downs because they've been a little too handsy at times. But, man, I think Oregon, you're right. I think they roll here. I think the connectivity that they had during the Ohio State game has started to propel them. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see, though, man, does Oregon have that letdown moment in the sense of other teams have? Now, maybe their letdown moment came against Boise and they kick a field goal and won the game. But, man, Joe, I don't know what they don't do well right now. We haven't seen tested. Like, I feel like we've seen everything that you can throw at Oregon that's been tested. Their adversity against Boise State, not being able to run the football. How does Dylan Gabriel overcome it? You play Ohio State. Can you attack that secondary? You do. By the way, with Caleb Downs being there, yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Illinois. I just don't know if Illinois, who's been better defensively than I think people are giving them credit for, they can give you some problems, man. They can really they're a top 50 defense in the country. So they can give you problems, but I don't know, man. I mean, you had Ohio State, you're going across the country, you come back home, that's a lot of travel. Could you come out flat? I don't know if they will. I just don't like coming out here and say it. I feel like a team's going to get blown out, but it has all the markings of a team getting blown out.
Yeah, I just don't see an area where, like we've talked about some of these other games where we thought there was going to be a blowout and it didn't come to fruition. We also called a couple of those shots like really early in the year where we were kind of just playing off of vibes a little more than we were playing off of film and stats. But everything we're talking about here, Illinois is a good team. Illinois has been a fun story. They've been a big riser. Defensively, they're playing really good football. They're running the ball pretty well. Luke Altmaier is the king of efficiency, 15 touchdowns to 1 interception. But I can't help but be focused on the fact that I don't think that their offensive line is built to keep up with this Oregon front that has just been kicking the crap out of everybody. The biggest part here, you never want to be the team that peaks too early. And as much as we criticized Oregon early, they're figuring their stuff out. And that's one of the things that we talked about. It takes time. They are playing at a very high trajectory. However, the kiss of death seems to keep happening with whoever's ranked number 1. So that's the only thing that I'm going to throw out there. It's been a weird ass year. There could be some crazy shit this week. Who knows? But that's the only thing that I could throw in there for why Illinois could win.
Joe, to your point, I do want to see Oregon. Look, you played Ohio State, very emotional game. You do go take care of business, traveling all the way across the country to the Midwest. Then you come back. My question becomes, okay, Joe, at what point do we see them start being sloppy? Or will they? Are they peaking at the right time? Those are the questions. I just don't know where Illinois can beat them at. Maybe Luke Altmaier, you got to play keep away. He goes off. He connects on third downs. That would be the way. I will say this. I do think Illinois can run the football, though, on Oregon a little bit. Oregon's been a little leaky in their defensive run game. Joe, they're 47th in the country. I know that it happened with Genty, but they're still a little leaky. I'm trying to find ways that they can win here is what I'm trying to.
Fegan, their running back's a dump truck. I think he's like 6'2", 240. He's huge. He's an enormous kid. So that is one simple facet of like, do they run the ball well? Do they play really good in play action? Do they get Altmaier on the move and keep pressure out of his face? They're going to need that.
Yeah, that's about it, Joe. For me, when I look at them, I just look at Oregon. You're right. The number 1 team in the land thing is out there. You would have to have some really big chaos for this to happen. But let's not say that it can't happen, man, because it sure as hell could. So we'll see.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Any more super chats?
No.
I don't know what this is. Darth Ducky says bleepity bleep. The bleep. I don't even know what this means, but Darth Ducky. Oh, my goodness.
What? BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number 1 source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.